Hello, everybody. This is Shmuel Zeiler from Raz-Lee Security. Thank you for joining this presentation. Today we shall be speaking about the audit module of iSecurity. Just a few words about Raz-Lee. Raz-Lee Security was founded long ago in year 1983, and since then until today we are working only on the IBM I environment. We have corporate offices in the United States, Germany, and Italy. We stopped counting licenses long ago, but these are the last figures which we came across. We are naturally IBM partners and partnering also with major other companies which usually are in the area of SIEM and DAM. SIEM, for the record, is security incident and event monitoring, such as ArcSight, McAfee, QRadar, and Splunk, and many others. While DAM is database activity monitoring, which comes, we all know IBM Guardium, but we partner with them, but not as part of the product because they are self-sufficient, of course, they are IBM. But we do work actually with Imperva, where Imperva is dominating this marketplace, and I think that they have much more than the 50% of this marketplace. And actually, when you buy Imperva agent for the IBM I, you buy Raz-Lee iSecurity. The widest we do provide the widest security solution offering in the market. Actually, we have even some products which are absolutely unique on the market, and we do not have a competitor, and there is a good reason for that, because they are too complex to develop or contains unique features which are not easy to duplicate. Some of them are mentioned here. It's anti-ransomware, a product which we announced about a couple of months ago, change tracker, and capture, which takes pictures of 5250 on the fly and enable you to do a playback of the activity. Actually, this is the list of the products, as you can see here on in front of you. If I will speak just 2 words on each one of them, then it will take too long. So with your permission, this time I will skip this slide and continue. I'll just point out that we have here the ATP, which is the new suite that we added, and it contains the antivirus which we had in the past, but the anti-ransomware was added, and there is few other members which will come and join here. I will also mention that there is a new product which is about to be announced in the area of tracing activity of database files. But let's continue. Today's agenda is as follows. We shall be speaking about audit. But who needs audit? What for? And if you need audit, why to select the iSecurity audit? What are the product characteristics which are so unique and so good? We shall be speaking both on auditing of the user profiles, objects, and other static entities in the system. And we shall then speak about the auditing of the activities as they are reflected in the audit journal and in the QSysOp pair, which is then converted to the QHST. We shall speak and show, and today we shall concentrate also on show, of course, the real product, the ways that we analyze the information, which includes the log, displaying the log of activities. I'm speaking, of course, about the auditing of activities in this case. The report generator, which is working on both the business intelligence some of you already know, we call it usually visualizer. So it works on both the static and the dynamic one, the log. And SIEM, we shall mention also SIEM, because today it's quite a trend of companies to send all the imported information to the SIEM, so that it is all collected from all type of operating system that the organization is using in a single place, enabling a wide scope of all the activities in the organization. A major thing in our offering is the filtering capabilities, which is so powerful and so important because they can reduce the amount of data that you have to inspect. They can extract the essence of things and bring it up to you. So we should be speaking about the unique filtering capabilities that we have. Naturally, we would prefer to work as little as possible when it is reasonable. And as such, we provide automation, and we actually speak in most of this presentation not about the real auditing of regular things, but tracking of the exceptional things. As we look at the exceptions, it's much easier to understand if they are allowed or not allowed, because all the rest is considered to be safe and sound. And of course, we have the ability to react to event. And the reaction to event can be to send a SIEM message, to send an email, and even to run a script of commands, where the script of commands can react to a situation. We do not have to compile this set of commands. We just have to write them. And instead of every parameter, we can replace it with a field from the event itself, and as such, bring up a most powerful reaction without any effort. Generally speaking, what is IT audit? When we speak about IT audit, it's the idea of examining that the organization infrastructure and policies are proper and provide what they should. They should ensure that the data integrity and security is placed, and that the goals of the security of the organization are reached. We have to check that the data of the company is secured, because the data of the company is today more than ever the most important asset of the organization. We have to find out if there are risks, and we have to find the possibilities that others will use those risks or perhaps have used, and then we have to collect all the data and build and deposit it in such a way that we shall have the ability to explain it to those who needs and to prevent similar situation in the future. Usually, this is done to ensure the company management as well as the company auditors and the specific IT laws and regulation that we are in place and doing the right things, and the things that we are doing are done properly. So, as I said, we have to ensure that there are no holes. Now, we have to understand that the majority of security is done by authorization and attributes and small things and small parts like this. And in order to do this, we have to ensure that everything is in place. This will reduce the risk of data tampering, data loss, and things like this. There are plenty today. Yeah, and growing the number of regulations. GDPR came in force just on May 2018, and there are other regulations such as HIPAA, SOX, local regulation, local laws, and many other things which we have to comply with. In order to do this, we have to track the events and in the system and the user activities. And this is what exactly audit is. But the question which comes up is, okay, but it is well known that the IBM I is the most secured computer. And why should we add anything to it? So the answer is simple. This is true. The IBM I is probably the most secured system. The IBM I has all the capabilities to be secured. The question is, are we using them? Are we analyzing the information that we receive? Is it possible for us to do that in a reasonable way, an efficient way, without wasting too much time? Can we see the full picture of our organization or just a single computer? And for that, we come up with our iSecurity audit. I just mentioned that there is a log of events in the audit system. Now, in the IBM I, okay, the log of events comes up by a journal which is called Q Audit Journal. According to setting, a proper setting, which can be done, of course, by standard IBM I commands or by our system in a bit more convenient way, we decide which type of information is being gathered to that journal. In our implementation, what we do is that we use the iSecurity audit to read the information in real time. And as we read the information in real time, we do two things. First, we collect the data after filtering into audit files. Why do we convert the journal which exists to audit files? Because journal cannot be properly accessed by regular programs, only in a sequential way, and it's slow and inefficient. Also, the audit journal usually contains much more information that we need, and we don't want to waste the space. In several cases, the amount of filtering that we do between the audit journal and the audit files is up to 95% of the information. So we keep at the end just 5% of information in a very efficient way by which we can immediately report and work with. It's much safer. Are these files vulnerable to changes? Well, the answer is not. The files are made in such a way that no update and no delete can occur in these files. As such, they are as safe as the journal, contain much less information, and are much faster to work with and report. So this is the first filter. Now, there is another filter. As we read the information in real time, we can process it. And if we process it, it means that if we see something which is occurring and is abnormal and we wish to react to, this is easy for us because we can alert or react against it. And in this way, things happen in real time. So if somebody touched something which is not allowed and we couldn't let's say because of some programming reason, provide a authorization system to block this, but we analyze this through the Q audit journal, the log of the operating system, then we can react a millisecond after this has occurred. The information which has been collected in the audit files are being processed in various ways. We have the ability to show it by screen, we have to print it, to convert it to HTML, PDF, CSV, outfile. We can process it in the report scheduler, in the report generator, and then in the report scheduler. We can work with the business intelligence and so on. So we have all the ways to work with it. And it's also auto-maintainable by date. We specify how many days of information we wish to keep, and this is what happens. We don't have to do anything else. Some other characteristics of the iSecurity audit. First, it's of course user-friendly display. It has user-friendly displays. It processes not only the Q audit journal, which I just spoke about, but it processes also the Q history and message queues in real time. We process open logs. This has been not so lately announced, so we can process Apache logs, WebSphere, and others. Using the iSecurity audit, we don't work only with the transitional data, but also with static data. So we can take snapshots of the the attributes of user profiles, the settings of system values, and the authorization given to objects, their size and their location, and everything which exists on the system. And if something is missing, do not hesitate. Let us know, and we shall try to add it. Using the advanced filtering, we are eliminating the unneeded data, and we concentrate in what we have to. I already mentioned the types of information that is being, we collect and display the data, so this appears here once again. In some cases, we provide a baseline methodology. For example, for the system values, we don't wish that somebody will come and change a system value. In order to do this, of course, we could track the activities in the Q audit journal and wait and check and analyze and even react at real time when somebody is doing the change to a system value. But, you know, because of its sensitivity, it's at the end system values, then we have the ability to compare the changes between the baseline and the current situation and report on it. Also for network attributes, another important thing, which sometimes tend to be neglected. With the graphical interface of the system and its business intelligence, we provide you the data in the most wonderful way one would wish to see it. I will demonstrate it in a short while. Our scheduler is right on your fingertips. You don't need to work with any other scheduler. It will provide you with all that is needed and create for you a set of daily reports which will be emailed to you daily, weekly set, monthly set, whatever time frame you wish. And as mentioned again, we have real-time responses at potential threats. The product is always advancing. I already mentioned a few things which were just recently announced, but let's see another list of it. So we added the IFS logs that we can send, but we also added a large amount of sources of information of static information. About 15 new types of information have been added, such as tables of the TCP and the attributes of subsystems and commands and many other things. They are all now part of the system. Yes, we work with SIEM, but not in the regular way. We are able to work with 3 SIEM systems concurrently and work with each of them with a different set of filtering and settings of severities and facilities, which some of you know what they are. And yes, we do support both dialects of Ceph and Leaf. The Ceph is the standard and Leaf is the IBM dialect of communication with SIEM. We work with them both. We do work with QHST, but of course we have to be a bit more than the others, and the more than the others here is we take every message and we break it to its parameters, allowing you to understand what are the values. So if you trace the end of job message, CPF 1164, if I'm not wrong, then with our system, you will have the ability to search for the end status, which is a number, by comparing to a numeric value rather than just trying to find out that value within the string of the history message or QSysOper message. Yes, the query generator, we made a beautiful change. We added to it user-defined groups of summaries. So if we scan a group of information, which sometimes is just, 10 records, but sometimes it may be 10,000 or 1,000,000 records, we can at the same time create summary reports outside of which sort them differently and show them in a different way. It's like seeing the same data as raw data and 3 other or more dimensions of summaries. This is a big wow. In several cases, we now support IASP, where of course it applies. So we added the support of IASP. Companies like IASP, we always run with the companies. Because some of our clients are large and they need this ability, we added the ability to export not the queries from one system to the other, but just on the fly to mark a query or 2 or several and send them to where they are needed. But usually it's not needed to move a query in order to run it for a different system. You can decide to run a query for a specific system which is not yours and run it from your system, and you will get the response either there on that system or here on your system. So you don't need it, but if you feel that it will be more convenient, you can do it. We zip now reports into a single file, but if none of the reports has any data, we write in the subject no data. This means in many cases, if so set, that there are no exceptions found. And this is a great relief to come at morning and see an email sent by the audit telling you, hey, no data. This means no problem. We can continue. We have the ability to disable user profiles and delete user profiles. Some people call it's a 30-60 system. After 30 days, you disable them. After 60 days, you delete them. We have this full capability with all the capability of reviving deleted users if they have been by mistake deleted. Okay, I think that we've gone through this. I will be speaking a little bit more about other things. Auditing of user profiles and their entities, objects and other entities. Well, I think that this is the most important thing, but I don't want to continue speaking much without showing something. So with your permission, we shall now take a break from this presentation and we shall go to the real product and simply look at how it looks like and what does it show. The product comes in two ways. In the GUI version, as well as you can see the GUI version here, the systems. Now you can see here the system that is opened, and you can scroll and activate. The GUI interface everything is written in Java. It's based on Eclipse, and as being based on Eclipse, it's very convenient because we have the ability to open as many as we wish items on the screen and work and flip with them just like this. So if I want to see something like, let's say, the general groups, I will click on the general groups. It will open here, and I have another tab, and then I can continue. Now, what are general groups? I will mention later in this presentation. In the same time that we provide this interface, this GUI interface, we also support a wonderful green screen. And this green screen interface, I think, is at least as strong for me because I like to work on green screens. Some system administrators prefer green screens, while others prefer GUI. So instead of us arguing which one is better, we provide them both, and people can work with them in both ways without any problem. So if we wish to see the same screen in the general groups, we can open the general groups and see the same information as we saw here. It's the same information, and we have the ability to work in both ways together. There, of course, with the green screen, you are not able that easy to have the tabs and work with them so convenient as the GUI, but so use the GUI if you wish this feature. Let's see some other things which we have in the GUI. For example, we can take the business intelligence and open the audit module and look at the audit. We can accept the parameters, and now we are actually working. If you have the time to read the number of events that we have collected here, it is written here, but it's so long that I cannot read it even. And so we have collected information in quantities, but this tool provides us the ability to investigate it. Otherwise, we should have wasted too much time. So if I want, I can come here, take one day or every 7 days if I click the control, and let's take this and say, okay, I would like to see what entry types, audit entry types have been used. I assume that you are observing the response time. Now, it's not that we have the strongest computer. No, it's that we work on a data warehouse. And as we work on a data warehouse, this is what we get. We can now select several of the audit types. And of course, the order of doing things is not important. and for example, click on the program, and now we see the programs that have been used. And if I will click on the quantity, then I will sort the information, and again, I can continue like this. And if at the end, I can create an Excel, or I can drill to the data that still exists on this system. So let's take one of the latest days, and now I've drilled to the data, and you can see it for yourself. Out of this, after I have isolated and filtered the data, I can even create a detection rule directly from here. And with this detection rule, I'm able to define an activity that should be done when similar situations occur in the future. And that will happen in real time. I can show you that every field of this event is now displayed here. And if I want to, that in the future, when the user of the job is this, and the type of job is that, and the device, the effective user is this one, then I can start writing what should work. Okay, this time we shall a little bit hold it. So this was just to give you the feeling that I'm not speaking about something which is artificial. We are speaking about a product which is the best of its kind in the marketplace of today. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay. So, auditing of user profiles, objects, and other entities. It is so important to check the attributes of user profiles. Auditors will always ask you to check how many users have all object authority. Then they will ask you about libraries, which are objects, what if they have public access. If anyone in the system can go there and add information to those libraries or retrieve information from those libraries. And same with sensitive files. All that are capabilities of the system. I will demonstrate some of them later so that we can have the feeling. Okay. Auditing of activities. Again, we have the full capabilities of controlling the Q audit journal, the Q history. We can deal with them, and we can deal with them in real time. And this is another unique feature of the system. So just to summarize, I would like to analyze, to summarize the ways that we have to analyze the data. If we wish, we can always use the log. You know, the log will show you information in either a table-wise or as messages. Why messages? Why messages? Because this is the way IBM is showing you the Q history, because this is the way that IBM is showing you the job logs. We don't want you to, it's not logical for us to understand all the codes. Instead, we sentence it and we bring it up in a way that everyone can read and understand the activities. So the log, when it is displayed as text messages, provides the information clearly to us, to all of us. In the same manner, it will be more convenient sometimes to just look at the information as in a table-wise, And this is also a capability, by the way, pretty new capability. I will demonstrate in a minute. The query generator, again, I think that it's a most powerful one. It will work both on static information, such as user profiles, system values, object authorities, but it will work easily and filter out for us the authority failures of various kinds, the creation of objects, the deletion of objects. All that is within the capability range of the query generator. As for the business intelligence, I've already demonstrated to you, and the visualizer, which is our tool. And visualizer is intended to work and compare data over years, because we are not collecting, we are not dependent on the existence of the logs, but instead we create a data warehouse which collects statistical data and enables extremely fast response time. The business intelligence, the visualizer, is capable of working on any report result set. So if we have created a report and the report has filtered information and created the information, on that same set of data, we are able to run the visualizer and further on analyze it as if every field is a dimension of the statistical data. It's really unbelievable. The last item that we usually analyze with is, of course, the SIEM. But the SIEM is outside of the IBM I. These are machines which are either on the cloud or on specific other computers, and they collect the information and analyze it in their own way. Until now, I've demonstrated to you the GUI. I would like to show you now a little bit of the green screen, and it will be very easy for me just to start with the log. So I'm coming here and selecting the log, and I will just now run the log. Actually, I will take the log and perhaps take the information starting from today. I press the enter key, and this is the result which I get. As you can see here, I have it in the log in table-wise, but that's not the end, because if I press F13, I will see now the information in messages. For every line, regardless of the way that it is being displayed, I am able to come to a record and press F1 in the same way that IBM is providing. And when I press it, I see the full details of the message. For example, the job who created it, the IP it was running on, what is the type and subtype, the program that was running, from which library it is, and I can read the information in a reasonable way. But if I would like to see all the message fields, it's so easy as just to come here and press F11. And as I press F11, I am able to see all the fields with full information about every field. But the question is, what is type of job B? Maybe some of us know, but maybe others do not. And what is subtype of job J? Probably I don't know, but probably most of us also don't know. So it's so easy. All that I have to do is just to come here and press again F1, and I get a full explanation. And if I go to the following field and I'll press and again F1, I'll get a full explanation. Now, think about the ease of use. We don't ask you to know. What we do is we ask you to be just human beings and lean on the system and just come and ask what you want and see all the possibilities of every field. Now, everything which I've shown you here on this log exists also in the GUI. So every time that you see any field, any place, you are able to come and see it on the GUI. So let me just do some finger work and I will show you how it looks here in the GUI. Okay, so you have it here and every field has its help and so on. Okay, now I don't want to waste too much time, so it's more important for me to come up and continue with the query generator. Now, the query generator and the real-time auditing, they both share a similar filter. So let's see a report generator. I will show you the report generator. We send a bunch of several hundred reports which are provided with the product. Each report has been tested, but to create a report, it's a piece of cake. Let's say that I would like to create now a report which will show users which have all object capabilities. F6, I'll give it a name, demo. Okay, I can write here some characters. I come here to type, I press F4, and I want to deal with something of queries. Now, these are all the sources of information. We give it an acronym of 2 characters, and I'll tell you why. Because IBM audit types are two characters. So if you know the audit type, just select it, and if not, use this subset option. Come here, write user, press the enter key, and it will show you only all the places where you have users. So if I want to select the users, the user profile information, I will select it and I can continue working with it. So here I have the ability to do an initial selection. I will work with all. Now here I have all the fields which represent all the attributes of user profiles in the system. And as such, I am easily able to go to any field, and for any field, I can simply provide a test. Now, the tests are, some of them are very simple, like equal, not equal, less than, greater, but some of them are a bit more complex, like list or not in the list, like or not like, starting with something or not starting with something. It's very convenient usually. Item is very important. Item will enable you to work with the group items. So if I have a group of users which I have created and I wish that this report will be limited just for these groups, I will write here item, press F4, and if, for example, I'm interested to show only users which are in a specific group profile, I can select this one, and then I select one of the group profiles which we have here. Let's take one of the, for example, Q programmer. So this is the result, and this means, oh, this report will be limited just to those which are part of the group profile Q programmer. And if I wish, I can do a different thing, like I can come here and say, oh, not only group profiles, I'm interested in a set of users which I have created. So I go here, I pick this one, and I have here production users, so I can say, okay, I'm interested in production users. By the way, the values which I've created might be generic names, and then I can select two to work with generic names. That's it. So now the report population will be here. Of course, I can use Boolean conditions here of and and or. I am able to switch to lowercase and then I will see here lowercase and be able to type in lowercase. I'm able to insert fields again and again. I'm able to use a test which is called program or not program, where program or not program means, hey, I have created a program which will do some special thing of testing and will result in either yes or no. And then I'm able to actually include or check for any condition which is beyond our system. It's part of your system. So this was just how to show you the filter, just for the completion of this demonstration of the report generator. It's so easy. I can select which fields to include. I can change the order of the fields. For example, I want to remove this one, remove this one, remove this one. I want to change this field from being displayed as a 19 position just to be 10 position displayed. Let's move this field to be on top. So I will give it 0.5 and it will be ordered the day's password is in use on top of the user profile. I'm now pressing the enter key and you've got it. I press the enter key. I'm able now to set the sort. I'm able to show only one record per key field. I'm able to create breaks after each sort or part of each sort group that have changed. All that is so easy and convenient, but it will take too much time. So I press the enter key and I come here just to show you the following. First, I have the ability to do summaries, extra summaries. So the summaries here will be summaries based on group profile, but I can modify them and I can either decide that I want to see the count per group profile if this is a report of users, or I can, in other cases, for example, objects in the system, then I can have here a summary per library and the sum field will be the sizes. And then I can take and build another report, for example, made by owners. Why not? And all that with a single scan of the information. We can write here a full explanation, and that explanation, excuse me, and that explanation will simply go with the report to the users who consume it. So I don't have to go and explain the report because the explanation goes and print as part of the report itself. By the way, in the same way is the same thing is true also for the selection criteria, which are also printed with the data. Okay, So, and I save the report and run it. That's it. So easy. And to export a report is just I take here an X. And if I want to deal just with the scheduler, I schedule it. So easy. I get here and I take, okay, I would like it to schedule on these entries of scheduling. That's it. Okay, let's go back to the presentation and presentation, I say, okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so I've shown you some of the information, but I think it's good enough. With the filtering capabilities I already mentioned, we can reduce the amount of data and concentrate in the essence. Automation, I've already spoken with it and showed you some of the possibilities. I've mentioned that we are able to easily react with the SIEM, email, and so on, and write script of commands. This is all part of the product. So easy, so convenient. And just now, you know, I think that we have accomplished the mission of this audit presentation. Thank you for joining us. If any one of you have any question, I'm here to answer it, and I'll be glad to answer. Okay, I see there is a question about how do we filter the information and can react to it. Okay, let me demonstrate it instead of answering it. It's so convenient. I told you already that I prefer the green screen, but everything which I do on the green can be done on the GUI. This is not true, by the way, on the opposite way, because we don't have a visualizer on the green screen. But here, if let's say that I want to react to something in the system, for example, one of the most important rules of regulation is that we wish to ensure that updates to a data file are done only by permitted set of programs. Let me repeat it. Let's say that I would like to ensure that no one uses DFU to update a production file. So how shall I do it? It's easy. I will come here to general groups and I will go to libraries, and for the sake of demonstration, I will have here the production libraries which represent the list of libraries which database information is there, the production database. I will build another group. I will call it a program for production, and I will write here just one library which will be AAA, and another one which will be SMZ prod. Okay, so these are the programs which are allowed. And so now I have the list of production libraries and the list of program production libraries. So I will go now to the real-time auditing, and in the real-time auditing, I will subset to something which controls change. And N is missing. Okay, and as I get this, I know that what I'm looking, so let me save time. I will go to object changes. I will select this object change, and actually I had to create a new one. So F6 ZC sequence 1, not important, and say react to unpermitted changes in prod files. I have here the ability to perform an action. Actually, I have even the ability to run the action on if the same event occurs several times within a period of several seconds. I can also run the action once per number of seconds, so that it's not a flood of messages which appears. So all the possibilities are here, and look how easy it is. I press the enter key, I come here, and I go here to the name of program. So if the name of the library of program, the program library, if it is not item of libraries, program production, and the file is in a library which is in file production libraries, then this is a risk. And for that risk, I can leave an automatic message or write a message with replacement fields from the event itself. And then I can send an email to zeiler@razlee.com. I can send a message to QSysOper. I can send an SMS message or a SIEM message, send a SIEM message to SIEM 1 or 2 and 2, and I can continue and press another enter, and I am in the CL script processor, where in this CL script I can write any command. For example, I can take end job and select here the replacement value, which is the replacement job, and press F4 and select here the option immediate and press the enter key. I can continue and write another command and do something like change user profile. Which user? I will take a replacement variable from here. I will take the user profile name and I will disable it. I can continue like this. I even have the ability of monitor message and go to and labels and changing the order of lines, and I press the enter key. Actually, I'm quite afraid of leaving it because it may result in something dreadful. I think I've shown you what I have, what we have. Thank you for your participation. I appreciate it. Thank you.